Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems. Learn how we can help you arrive at cost-effective and innovative solutions to your toughest industry challenges at dowautomotive.com.
Here are today's top headlines. Volkswagen passes Toyota to become #1 in the world. GM may not do an IPO next year after all. And a woman in South Korea gets her driver's license after 950 tries. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Wednesday, November 11th, 2009, Veterans Day and Armistice Day. And now the news. The Wall Street Journal reports that GM's chairman Ed Whitaker doubts the company can go public next year, even though management has been saying it would. Instead of taking the company public, he'd rather see it start paying off the government loans first. And I think if GM could start paying the government back next year, it would instantly improve the automaker's public perception. Whitaker also questions management's projections for total sales in the American market next year of 11.5 million units, since unemployment is still rising and credit is tight. But he praised management for boosting sales and market share last month. Peugeot is showing off a hybrid three-wheeled scooter concept called the Hybrid 3 Evolution. The two front wheels are equipped with electric motors powered by lithium-ion batteries, and the rear wheel is powered by a 300cc gasoline engine. There are no mechanical connections between the front and rear. Everything is controlled electronically. It can run on either the gas engine or in electric-only mode or a combination of the two. Fuel economy is 2 liters per 100 kilometers or 117 miles per gallon. Volvo just released new photos of the all-new S60, which will make its official debut at next year's Geneva Motor Show. Production of the vehicle is scheduled to start next summer. It will also be equipped with the pedestrian safety technology, which we showed to you earlier in the week. German auto supplier ZF has come up with a clever design for a simple, lightweight axle assembly. It features a transverse fiberglass leaf spring that you can see in green in this picture. The design eliminates the need for stabilizers with bearings, 2 tie rods, transverse control arms, and conventional helical springs. So it cuts costs and improves fuel economy, and that makes it clever enough to make it on this show. Volkswagen has overtaken Toyota as the #1 automaker in the world. According to The Guardian, the German automaker has built 4.4 million vehicles so far this year, outpacing its Japanese rival by nearly 500,000 units. VW has been on fire in China, and it's benefited heavily from government subsidies in many European countries. Toyota's decision to cut production by 50% earlier this year also helped push Volkswagen to the top. And in related news, Bloomberg reports that VW aims to sell 130,000 copies of its NMS, or new midsize sedan, in the U.S. every year. That's a huge number. In 2008, the brand sold about 223,000 vehicles in the American market. Hey, talk about perseverance. If you remember earlier this year, we reported on a South Korean woman who failed her driver's test 771 times. Well, we have an update. Autoblog says Cha Song-soon has finally passed the written portion of the exam. How's that saying go? 950th time's a charm? Yeah, after 950 attempts, she finally made it. It's not like the test is that hard. You only need a 60% to pass. This accomplishment only took her 4 years and a cost of 5 million won. That's about $4,200. And now all she has to do is complete the road test. Hey, coming up next, it's time for You Said It. And now it's time for some of your feedback. This is You Said It, where I get to comment on your comments. Ralph Kirchhoff wrote in about Toyota's floor mat issue and says, it seems that there is unintended acceleration related to the ECU and electronic throttle-by-wire system that Toyota uses. I don't buy that, Ralph. They tried to find a similar excuse when Audi had so-called unintended acceleration. NHTSA proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that unintended acceleration is driver error, caused by people who had their foot on the gas even though they swear it was on the brake. You know, no matter how fast a car is going, even if you keep the gas pedal floored, the brakes will always bring a car to a stop. And Sean Walsh wrote in on the same issue. He says, "What's your take on the ABC News investigation of the Toyota acceleration issue and the claim that it's more than the floor mats? Do you think they have something, or are they trying for a sensational story to boost ratings? My wife has a 2004 Camry and is very nervous now." Sean, tell your wife to relax. This is just more sensationalist reporting that has no basis in fact. This is the same crap we got from 60 Minutes on the Audi unintended acceleration story back in 1987. The story's bogus. NHTSA proved that. In fact, you know that shift lock mechanism on every car today where you have to put your foot on the brake before you can shift out of park? That came right out of the Audi investigation. I've driven every Toyota model there is over the last 30 years, and every Lexus, and every Scion. I've never had this problem. I don't know anyone who has. This is just another example of America's struggle with accepting personal responsibility. It seems like whenever we have a problem, we want to find out who we can blame and who we can sue. Okay, enough pontificating from me already. Here's an important message from me. Coming up on this week's Autoline After Hours, don't miss our evening with Automotive Hall of Famer Hal Sperlich, one of the greatest product planners ever. Over his career, Hal has given us everything from the Mustang and Fiesta from his days at Ford to the K-cars and minivans at Chrysler. That's this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Autoline After Hours with former Chrysler president Hal Sperlich. Get your questions ready for the man whose influence is still seen on the road today. Thanks, John. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.